All right, this is Todd. I'm trying to see if Noble is here. Give me 1 second here. That's StreamYard. That's YouTube. All right. So Noble, just so that you know, number one, if you could type in the text, I'm going to call you here in just a little bit. Actually, I'm going to get off the headphones. I've got too much feedback in the headphones. If you could type back that you're hearing me, wearing my Penn State hat and all that, there's about an 8-second delay between when I say something and when it comes across um, on the YouTube channel. So everything look okay? No, but did you hear me talking through the YouTube okay. I just got your text, and I am going to give me 1 second. Hey Noble, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
All right, all right. Okay, so in general, I got a couple. Well, first of all, I'm live, as you can see, and I'm just going to mess around a little bit with the different things, the different views that StreamYard allows me to. So, like I said, there's about an 8-second delay, I think, between. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to watch it on YouTube over here.
All right.
Give me 1 second here. Just rearranging screens a little bit. Okay. So this is obviously just me. Now I'm selecting on a two-person view, but since I'm the only one here, that doesn't work. But when I bring you in as a panelist, we should be able to do that, but that doesn't do anything. Okay. Now, in a few seconds, you're going to see the screen change to show my presentation. There it goes. Tell me if you see that.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Okay. And then it changed again to just me off to the side in a larger presentation.
Is that? Oh yeah, I see.
Okay. And then changes again to the presentation with me at the bottom left. And then me at the bottom right.
Okay, it's at the bottom left now.
It'll switch in a second.
Yep.
To the bottom right. And then again, it'll switch over to the left. There are other views that you can, hang on. How do I get rid of that? Give me a second. Cancel that. Yeah. So that's those views that you just saw me go through are kind of the default views. There's like 10 of them that you can have. And I think you were correct that once you come in as, they call it a guest is a panelist. Like I could bring you on so that we're both on screen, and that's what we're going to do here in just a second. Everybody that is, that we send the link to, like to the YouTube channel, that are just participant or not participants, they're called viewers, because they can view only, they can chat, but they can only view. Actually, you know what? I think there's something I can do. Yeah. So the comments that are off to the right, the comments that you and I were just passing back and forth, like if you look at the screen, well, again, it'll be about 8 seconds behind, but you'll see the screen show your comment. Did you see that?
Yep.
Okay, so I can show it and then I can hide it. Again, I'm doing the things as a panelist can do, but you're acting as just a viewer right now. There's banners, and I'm gonna have, when I bring you on as a panelist, they use the term interchangeably, panelist or guest. We're the ones that can present to the audience. So I just put a banner up there. In a few seconds, you're going to see a ticker come across the screen, across the bottom of the screen.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, you're still seeing that.
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
What happened to my presentation? Somehow I lost my presentation. There we go. All right. Now you won't be able to see this part of the screen, but I'm going to add a guest. I'm going to copy this, and I have to go to my Gmail. Sounds like you have a young one in the house. Who is that?
That is my younger sister.
Ah.
Of course, I have like Harrison playing piano on the side, so it's kind of hectic. We also have like friends with the kids over, so it's a bunch of them running around.
Nice. Okay. I just sent you another link.
Okay.
By email.
Check that.
Okay. Try to look at my screen here.
The phone got the email, but it's like my laptop might not. Let me reload it. There we go.
Okay. And this is the first time I'm doing this to bring in a guest. So I'm expecting that, well, I think I know what to expect, but once you log in, just tell me. I don't think you have to log in. You just have to click on the link. Okay, I just heard a click. Okay, I see exactly what I was expecting. So the screen that you're seeing right now, there is a whole bunch of things at the bottom below that screen. Um, they're basically the pieces that you add to the webinar, and I'll show you here in a second. But there's a square with me in it, with the camera that you're seeing. There's a square with the presentation in it. There's a square with you in it. You're kind of ghosted out. I mean, I can see you, but you're grayed out because I haven't done what they call add to the stage. So we're in studio right now, and I'm going to click on add to stage. In fact, I'm wondering, you came in. You don't see any options. No, no, wait. You're not in StreamYard. You're
Actually, I'm at StreamYard.
you are. Okay. Can you see the options that I was saying where I'm there, the presentation's there, and you're there? Can you see that?
I see an option that says like share the screen or share a screen or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Let me try something here. I just added you.
All right.
Okay. So did it update so that you can see yourself now?
Yeah, it did.
Okay. So now what I'm wondering is, did you get new options like there's a whole bunch of little screen. They almost look like thumbnails.
Yeah,
All right,
I got one that says present. So let's say.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and click on something, because again, you should have pretty much almost the same rights that I do to change the views.
Yeah. Let me just try something here. Present. Hold on. There's an issue with files, probably because it wasn't a PNG file.
Okay.
Let's try a PNG. Maybe it's too big of a file.
So what I want you to do is, if you have the option, for example, if you like, for example, see, I just changed the view there, so it shows us a little bit different. It shows us different. It shows that. It shows us both of the time. I mean, do you see the views switching?
Yep.
So there are like gray tabs right under the presentation that show these different views, and I'm wondering if you have that option.
Yeah. I have your input. Uploading and recording. I don't think it lets the viewer do it, because like this seems like it's something specifically for the viewer. Because like I didn't have to sign into this.
Yeah.
So it's probably not going to let anybody who has like a link just log in and change everything.
Yeah.
I think maybe because I set up an account for StreamYard. So maybe if you like invite somebody else or invite it, or a different account or something like that. Excuse me.
All right. So I have an option over to the right that says people, and I see me and I see you. And I just clicked on a button that says move to backstage, which of course that means take them off camera. You're now in what they call the backstage. And then I can click a button again, and I just did that says add you to stage. You know what? I know what the deal is. There is a setting. There's a setting since I purchased the next level up. I forget how many presenters I'm allowed to have. I think 4. I'm not sure. I have to look, but I probably have to add you to that, so that it recognizes when you come in that you're that person, and you can you have the rights to do these things. Let me see if I can. Give me 1 second here.
Okay, I tried to add a slide.
Yeah.
I think like if I try to switch it, then it can either switch my screen or it can switch the welcome agents class slide. But I don't know because it's still loading.
Yeah, I'm going to go back. Okay, here's members. I just found it. Invite a member. And I know, let's see, I've got to get your email. Give me a second here. This program is actually pretty slick. I mean, for only the few things that we've done so far, it's pretty nice.
Yeah. Honestly, like gaming and all that.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Now, the one thing that I'm actually talking to them right now is, give me one second, invite member. So I got your email. You would have assist admins. Okay, you'd be in the role of what they call co-host. So I'm going to send you the invite. It just went to your email just now. So if you could see if you can get that, and then you probably have to click on the link to accept it or something like that because it shows pending on my screen.
All right. Said you're not part of the team, and then let me try to enter it because I think now that I accepted it with my account on here, then it probably yeah.
Okay, I was going to say it just changed from pending to co-host. So I'm going to go back to the presentation. So what I see right under the presentation is like I said, it looks like a thumbnail, but a single person, two people in a different format, et cetera. There's like 10. Do you see that?
So can you repeat that, like two different people?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you see what I just did there where I switched it from just me to the two of us? So if you can go, there you go. You just did that, right? Okay. Yeah. So now you're starting to see the icons that I see that you can help me, if I'm talking, you can shift things around a little bit. That's really cool. That's cool. Let's see now. I don't know if you have these options off to the right now, but you might get some new menu options to the right that say like comments, banners. Do you see that off to the? Okay. So if you click on comment, what's that?
Sorry, it's like the quality. I'm not the quality. It's looking pretty blurry. I don't know if that's
you're I look. I mean, I always look good, but I look good, But your camera is definitely blurry. I don't know if. Give me one second. I'm going to move this over here. I probably should have done this before. But yeah, this is the YouTube channel right now that's showing. And it's okay. I mean, you don't have to switch that up, but if we were going to do this live, I could buy a new camera or something like that so that you have a better connection.
Okay, dang it! I was gonna say I'm gonna use this webcam that I have, but I just remembered that I removed the filter from it because I was trying to make an efficient. But
when I started this, when I went into the studio, and that's what they call it, before you got on, there's an option, and again, hopefully if we're successful with this, there's really not that many options here. This will take us 2 or 3 or 4 times to get this, and then it'll be pretty seamless for us. But when you start, you do a couple things, and then you say enter the studio. Now, enter the studio is what you're seeing right now. We're in the studio. We didn't go. I didn't go live right away, but I had options to go in here. Like for example, I had the option to add this logo. In fact, I'm going to share. I'm not sure if I can do this. I'm sharing a window. That's why that's doing that. So just give me 1 second. I am going to stop presenting that. I'm going to remove that, and I'm going to present. Why is it telling me? Give me 1 second. I need to stop that. Oh, there we go. Okay. Did you change your camera?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Just trying to
Change
change
the
settings
settings
on
on
it,
it,
It looks better.
it looks yeah,
like the more movement.
there is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am having. Here we go. I just found it. Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm going to get that infinity screen. I don't know if it came up for you. There it is. But that's okay. We can still work with it. But did you change? So the reason why I started talking about going into the studio is because one of the options I had was to go from 720p resolution to 1080p resolution, which of course makes mine look a little bit crisper, not necessarily yours. And there was even an option for 4K, which is really, really crisp. Now, the one thing that I have to think about a little bit, because my recordings, I only have so many hours of recordings. I don't know if they do it by hours or by size, but when you jump from 720p to 1080p to 4K, each recording takes more and more disk space, because it's a lot more resolution, a lot more frames per second, things like that. So, does this stuff interest you at all? I mean, do you know about that kind of stuff?
I know a little bit about frame rates and all this. A little bit about it.
Okay.
Very much.
Okay.
I just
Okay. And you don't have to, and I'm not an expert by any means, but you don't have to be an expert to do what we're doing here. But anyhow, where I was, and you'll see what I'm clicking on in this space here, is I was going over here to the menu, and let's see if you're seeing this. You're seeing this pretty much live, right? When I'm clicking. Okay. So if we were over here and there's some kind of crazy chat going on, you might see somebody, and I think there's an option here, put user in timeout. Like they put some inappropriate comment in there, and we're gonna take them out, or you can ban them altogether, and get rid of their comments. But one of the things that's kind of nice here is each of these comments you can say show, and I'm going to click on it, and you can see it pops up on the video, and then I could just put it there for a second and hide it. But we might say something like, hey, John just put a really interesting comment in there. We're going to show it, John. And then, we take some time to, and this is not us and the panelists talking, or sorry, not panelists, the viewers. They're not talking. That's the one thing I was a little frustrated when I paid the membership. I paid a year-long membership, and I thought we could do some webinar things as well, but we can't. This is just really streaming only, which again, for us, I think it'll be fine. It's whoever we decide to have as panelists, it's just us streaming. It's not like, hey, we have 100 guests on the call and we can all talk to each other. That does not work for this product with the version that I bought. If I wanted to pay about twice or triple the amount per month, I could get that. But, if we were going to do that, I'd probably do a Google Meet.
Yeah.
So,
but I think were you wanting to get the of this to be able to say make YouTube videos or clips out of?
yeah.
Because I think
That
YouTube they see on live stream stuff.
That's probably true that YouTube does it as well. I'm not as familiar with that, but I know that the StreamYard membership that I bought does do that. So it gives me so many hours. I think it's like 50 hours with my membership. But a number of years ago, I bought a subscription to a service that I get like, what was it? 5 or 6 terabytes of space. So I've got lots of space that I have access to. So once the recording is made available at StreamYard, which is probably within a half an hour after we're done, I can just download it and delete it from there. So I can have as many videos as we want. I just don't keep them stored on StreamYard. I can download them and then delete them, so I can not use up all that space. So anyhow, that's pretty much all I know about comments. If I go to banners, these are things like, there's like this is an example banner, and you see how it pops up. And then I can show a different one. Here's a different banner. This one's called a ticker, And the way you do this is if you have a banner, and I'm going to turn the ticker off. And all you do is click on them, and then you click off of them. But here's a banner that's just a straight banner. But if you wanted that to become a ticker, you would edit it, and you would click on scroll across the bottom and save it. And it should change to ticker. And there it did. Just change the scrolling. So if, again, your co-host and there's a conversation going on and you think that, hey, somebody's going to be talking about this real soon, I'm going to say, future chat topic. I'm typing this in and I just say add banner. Now it doesn't make it live yet, but now I have to show it. And now I'm showing it.
How do you
there's an option here for add banner. You see that? See my mouse?
I don't see that.
You see on the screen the add banner button?
No.
Are you seeing the same screen I'm seeing? Like there's a presentation in the middle.
See, I see all the things on there, but I don't see the add banner section.
So off to the right, you don't see something that says example banners?
Yeah.
Okay, at the very top, there's one that says this is an example banner, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but you're not seeing my mouse scroll across them. Is that true?
Oh, I'm saying you're not.
Okay.
It's like that one section where it says add banner.
Oh, interesting.
I think that may be like for whoever's on the banners and everything. Then you got co-hosts, but they can't like add.
I would expect my co-host to be able to add banners. That's kind of sucky if you don't have that option. So you're seeing my mouse, and I'm scrolling up to this banner here, and I'm just going to click on it. It says show. I don't know why that was showed. Okay, and then I don't know if you can still see my mouse, but now it says hide.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm just clicking it on and then off, on and then off. And any of these banners, like if I click here, oops, I didn't want to do that. If I click on the pencil for edit, there's an option here to say make it a scrolling, like a ticker, what they call a ticker, that scrolls across the bottom. And then that would become a ticker. And then I don't know why you don't see it. I'm going to do a little research, but at the very bottom of that, there's an option for add banner. And that's interesting. Create a banner. Do you see the create a banner button?
No. Just like I probably honestly.
Yeah.
Let's see.
You should see a person with a screen with a plus button on one of the icons at the bottom. So at the very bottom of your screen, do you have a mic, a camera, and some other options?
Oh, yeah.
It's this button right here. Yeah, that's actually a better option to have you share your screen. I'm going to stop sharing mine.
I think I gotta leave this for a second. I think. Let me try this.
I'm going to change something up here. I'm just, don't worry about me. I'm just changing some things around here. I got a couple screens going here, and I want to. Yeah, and then you select your window. Now, when you do this, there you go. It just added it to the stage, and then you have to add it to the stage. Okay, very cool. Okay, well, you do not have the option. You don't even have the banners. Yeah, why don't you remove that and then add your screen again?
think I selected the wrong tab.
You want to add your StreamYard screen.
Probably just entire screen. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it showing?
Not yet. Did you add it to the stage? There's something just happened. It didn't show up yet though.
All right.
I see you and me.
Window. StreamYard. Sure. Okay.
There it is. Okay. Why don't you change the view to make that screen bigger? So I can't quite see it. I can see it.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Okay, now that's your screen, and you do have the options that I have. So if you go to comments,
comments.
sorry, we already did comments. Let me just that if you click on just highlight one of the comments, put your mouse on one. Okay, do that one more time. And do you have a 3 dots over to the right for comments?
Only a star.
Give me 1 second here. I got to find my correct screen. I'm not on the right screen here. Okay, so when you don't click on a comment, but just put your mouse over, you should see a show button or show option. There you go. But you don't see a 3-star option. Interesting.
Maybe there's settings for the original account that paid for the subscription for the website to adjust how much the other person has control over the screen.
Yeah. Okay. Good thought. Okay. Now, why don't you go to? I got to get back to the right screen here. You go to banners. And you do not have an option. You can click on the banner to hide or show it, right? But you don't have an option for adding it. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. And I see what you're doing. Okay. All right. Let's go back to your screen. Okay. You have media assets. Let's take a look at that. Off to the right. Okay, that's pretty much what I see. Yeah, that's our logo. You can click, and everything here is just either click on or click off. It's nothing really tricky. Video clips, yeah, things like that. Yep. There's even background music, believe it or not. So I don't know when you joined, but just before, like right about 2 o'clock or just before, I clicked on the 1 minute timer, the 1 minute countdown. So if people joined, a few minutes early, that would come up and they would see that. Okay. Let's look at style on the right. All right. Let me look at mine real quick. Yeah, boy, I have a bunch of other options. I have brand color, themes, fonts, camera options. There's not a lot in there, so that's no big deal. And most of these things are things that you won't adjust during the show anyhow. So that's okay. Creating your team. All right, let's look at people. I have the same options as you have on the right, just it seems like the sub menus are a little bit different. So you got style on the right. I'm sorry, people.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
People.
Yeah, and there, see, you are seeing the 3 dots, and you have the same options that I have there. So that's cool. Private chat. So that's a chat just between us panelists. If we had 3 or 4 people, only we would see that.
Yeah.
And yeah, so you can see that. And then I haven't done this yet, but click on recording. Please ask all guests to stay in the studio until the recordings are done uploading. Recording is in progress. Interesting. I'll have to work on that a little bit more. Let's see. Up at the top of your screen, you probably don't see this. You don't have an end stream or an edit option at the very top right of your screen.
In the
An
top
end,
right, I don't have an edit thing.
yeah, an edit or an end stream. Okay, so I'm the broadcaster. That's probably why I see that. If I click on edit, okay, well, edit is really how I set up this live stream. And by the way, this is one of the really cool features. I only have this going to one place right now, which is my personal YouTube channel, which I hardly ever use. I use it for testing for things like this. But you can send this to, I think, up to 10 destinations at once. Like I could send it to my Polythrive YouTube channel, which I would send it to my Facebook channel. There's, I don't know, there's all kinds of options. You have to let me see if I can do this. I'm going to steal the share back from you.
All right.
So I'm going to remove that, and I can do.
The host can give the co-host more control over the stream by promoting them in a co-host role with elevated permissions. Here's how. During the live stream, the host should go to the people or participants section in the Streamlabs interface. And then you should locate the co-host's name, the list of participants. Click on the name and select an option like make co-host or grant co-host privileges.
Well, I just knocked you out of the. I just knocked you off the stage. I didn't knock you out of what they call the studio, but I knocked you off the stage. But I don't have any option here to elevate your permissions the way that I can see. I can edit your name, your display name. I don't want to do that. So I'll take a look at that a little bit further and try to figure out what's going on there. What was I about to do? I was going to share my screen. Oh, I don't have to share it with you right now. But basically, when you enter the studio or you're about to, it gives you an option for your destinations. And I only have two set up right now, which is, again, my personal YouTube and my Polythrive Facebook page. None of those are really meant for large people consumption right now. You know, it's just mostly practice. But before you, if we were to do this right, before you do that, you set up all these 10 destinations, and some of them might be mine, some of them might be yours. You know, if we said, hey, are you comfortable, you know, getting it out to the people that you know and your group? So we would put that up as a destination. So then when we're setting up this call, I went in about 1:40 this afternoon. I said it's create a live broadcast, give it a name. This one's called, I don't know if you see it somewhere on your screen, but at the top left, it probably says Todd Noble test. So I gave it a name. I can give it a description. I tell it what time. We're either going live right now, or I tell it what time. So I said 2:00. And then it gives you your options for destination, and it shows an icon for every destination that you've set up. And you click the ones that you want, and you can click all of them, you know, if you wanted to say go live. But let's see. After I did that, then I went into the studio, which is here, and there's a button for go live. So even though we entered the studio, we're not live yet. You know, we didn't click on go live. So that's where I selected the 1 minute counter. I selected the view that I wanted people to see. And at that point, I said go live, and then the 1 minute counter started. So, and the second view that I had ready, and in the background, this blue and black background that's there, I selected that as well, and I selected the logo to be presented. And then as soon as the 60-minute or 60-second counter is done, then it echoes off the screen, and then this view comes up. So
something about, because, like, you know, obviously I did want to answer some of the questions, or I did want to ask some of the questions about, you know, for the laundry thing.
Yeah.
Well, what's the question here? So the first one was like for the business or the laundromat. Did you do any sort of advertising for it, like maybe Facebook, YouTube, to try to get the word around? Like, hey, we have a laundromat here. No, y'all can come over. Is that like a consistent thing, or no?
So, a lot of the residents know who we are because we're right there on Main Street, which is a plus for us. Like, we have good exposure. We are right across the street from the town post office. We're right next to Smokey's restaurant, which a lot of people know. But we also want to make it in such a way that people who don't know the town know that we're there also. So, and I know that you're savvy probably on the computer. You've done this 100 times where you look for something like a business. You might look for, I don't know, a skateboard. I'm just making up a young kid thing. A skateboard shop. You type in skateboard and you find that there's one at HTC. HTC is Hamilton Town Center. It's the mall that's up here. There's one over in Carmel, and it'll, you expect those things to come up to show you what skateboard shops are around me. So for a while, it took a little while for us on Google to, like, if somebody typed in laundry around me, you'd have to be more specific. You'd have to say laundry near Fisher's, and sometimes it wouldn't come up. And then you have to say laundry near Lapel. Well, I don't want somebody to have to type in that specific. Nobody's ever going to type in laundry near Lapel, So I had a buddy of mine just help me out a little bit on, since we're using Google, there's ways to Google business reviews. There's ways to go in there and tell Google about your business and get your ads to come up to the top a little bit, by some of the keywords that you put in. And I even did a little bit where I paid, and it's something like $40 a month, and you get this. I don't even know how to describe it. You'll come up on hits, or Google will try to do a good job. Like if you're watching something on Google and then, in the bottom, it says, hey, there's a laundry in Lapel, because it knows that person is close by in the area, or they're asking something about laundry. I don't know how they do it, but we got some advertising that way. We do have a Facebook page. We go to a site. We're on a site called Lapel Chatter, which is, most of these little towns, even Fisher's has a town where people just chat. I mean, it's on Facebook, but they just post things like what's going on in the town, or, hey, I heard there was a fire, something like that. And we actually had somebody do that when my wife and I, we were somewhere. We were at the beach or something, and I saw something come up on my phone that was a posting on Facebook that says, hey, watch out, Main Street might be closed down with fire trucks because there's a fire at the Lapel Laundry. It was like, fuck, that's us, So I got a call from the police a little bit later, and we didn't have a fire, but there was some smoke coming out of a dryer. But it's just kind of funny, the stupid stuff that people put on, things like that. So I was able to reply on the Lapel Chatter site about that to say, hey, folks, calm down. We had a little bit of smoke. The smoke was cleared out. We didn't have a fire. But anyhow, the Lapel Chatter site is another one. But it's interesting. We're about 6 miles north of 69, and the exit right there on 69 has a truck stop. And we've been at the laundry a couple of times where we've had people come in and we just start talking to them. Oh, where are you from? And the guy says, well, I'm from California. Like, well, that's a long way to come to do your laundry. And he said, I'm staying, or I'm getting a shower down here at the truck stop, 6 miles down the road. And I typed in, laundry, so he could do his laundry, and he found us and he came up and did his laundry. So we don't pay much for marketing. We do it kind of, just cheap.
Yeah. I most definitely get that though, because like it's kind of hard to do it consistently.
Yeah.
I think if you did a little bit more marketing, maybe it would be like a little bit more open, or a little bit more. There might be a bit more business.
Yeah.
But, like, also, have you tried to put business cards for each business in there? Because I know you have say a car washing thing, you have a dog washing thing, you have a laundry mat. You have like cards for each and every single one of them, or just one that has all three in the same one, or
Yeah, we have one that does all three, and we try to let people know that it's kind of a convenience factor that, hey, if you come in and you start your laundry, you can also go next door and wash your car or wash your dog, while you're waiting for your laundry. So we try to think of it that way, and we try to have our customers think of it that way, that there's more than one business, that you can get more than one thing done here at one time.
so I think that's good. That's a good thing to have, like a card to have three different things. Like, hey, we have not only do we have this, but we also have this, but we also have this, right? So
Mhm.
if you have any of these needs, we can do that. I
Yeah.
think that's good. I think also something that could be maybe done better would be to have not a bunch of them, like a bunch of them for one, a bunch of them for another, a bunch of them for the last one, but maybe some cards to put inside the laundromat itself about the laundromat, and then signs in the laundromat and in the dog washing thing, and then even in the car wash, like, hey, saying, hey, there's also this dog washing thing, but the dog washing thing also says, yeah, there's a car wash next door, but also there's a laundromat next door. So it's
Yeah.
all contributing
Yeah. We
towards.
have, you probably didn't see it with the phone the way I was going around, but we have probably 20 different signs that are up in the laundry, all around the walls and sitting on top of the washers and dryers. And probably 10 different signs, but there's one in English and there's one in Spanish. Somebody's mowing. So they're in Spanish and English. And they do talk about, how do you use the loyalty cards, how to use a washer, how to use a dryer, because believe it or not, I get questions on stuff like that. You're on security camera. Almost every sign says you're on security. We have security cameras. We do talk about the car wash and the dog wash, and we have signs in there that talk about the car wash. So yeah, it took us a little while to get our signage. In fact, I spent a couple solid days on that just a couple months ago, not only improving the signage, but making it in Spanish as well. And I went out to Chat GPT and I said, say in Spanish. And I would literally copy the entire sign and put it in there, and it would give me the text back, and I would put that on the Spanish sign.
I think that's good, but like plain signs, it might get a little bit confusing because I haven't seen it, and so I don't want to judge and say, oh man, I have too many signs, because I could just walk in there and be like, oh yeah, it makes sense. It's concise. I understand it, whether I'm Hispanic or whether I'm an English speaker.
Yeah.
But I think that may be too many signs.
Yeah. What I probably need to do, because most of the signs they have a little logo on them and they're filled up with words, is reduce the words and put something a little bit bigger to say, why is this sign here? Because otherwise somebody's going to have to actually read the sign to understand why it is, and I don't want to do that. I want to just find out quickly, why am I having problems with the dryer?
And there might be like a sensory overload to where they're not even focusing on, oh man, there's a car wash next door, or oh hey, there's a dog washing thing next door, because they might be like, so many signs, so many words, I'm not gonna spend my time reading those.
Yeah.
I just want laundry done, right?
Yeah.
And
all of our signs on Facebook and the website will say Lapel Laundry and Wash Services, and usually if I have the opportunity to write, instead of Lapel Laundry and Wash Services, I'll usually say Lapel Laundry, Car Wash, and Dog Wash. That's not our business name, so we use the other business name when we have to, but otherwise I'm going to type in all three: Lapel Laundry, Car Wash, Dog Wash. So, but yeah, some good ideas. I'm going to I need to reduce the signage a little bit and make it easy for people to find out what they're looking for.
Yeah. And I also, I'm trying to look at my notes. I think maybe if you like put some decorations in there or in the places to make it look like kind of a little bit cozy, so people, whenever they walk in, they're not thinking, oh, this is the dog wash this dog wash thing specifically for dog wash. But there are some seats. I noticed that there were some seats over there, so maybe like a plan or two, or even like what I was saying with the cards, like you could put the cards in some card holders so they can pick it up. Like, oh yeah, I have this card now that has the location and the phone number. So if I ever know anybody that may want their dog washed, then I could go, give them the card. And so I'm thinking maybe a little bit of decoration around there. And I like cards, business cards, a lot of the time. So like, not trying to be pushy.
No worries. No worries.
So,
we put some things in there for Christmas. We don't have a lot of decoration in there, but we do keep it kind of cozy. There's also the factor that not everybody that comes in there is very conscious of being clean, and they come in there and the more things you put around there, the more things that can get messed up as well. But I know it was hard for you to see from the phone, but the dog wash is kind of cozy. Like people go in there and say, "Oh my gosh, this is nice!" Like we got the metal sliding all around, and then we got wings floating around the bottom. We got really cool. Actually, you can't see it here, but the lights that we have in here are kind of like the lights of the dog wash. The car wash is a car wash. It's a single bay car wash. You pull your car through.
I think maybe put like a Picasso painting right there. I think people would love to just drive by and look over like, nice Picasso.
A what?
I like just a Picasso painting on the side of there.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I want to invest in. There's a Picasso painting.
Yeah,
I know what you mean. I know. Mary does have a sign when they pull out of the car wash. There's a sign and a flower pot that she puts together. Thanks for visiting our car wash. Again, I don't know if you can see it from my phone, but I did have art students from the high school come in and paint a little bit of a mural up there. And one thing I didn't highlight, I should have, but down by the lockers, by TV there. And I should have said this to the class, but we got a box that a company gave us for free. The company was called Loop TV, and it was basically meant for business. You put this box behind your TV, it goes in through the HDMI cable, and you can play music, like almost like you had a station of music, right? And you could set up your broadcast. So I could go in there and I could see a 24-hour schedule, and I would say, at 6 o'clock, I want to show a news channel. At 10 p.m., I want to show a nature channel. And during the rest of the hours, I just put on like beach music for 1 hour and soft music for another hour and rock music for another hour. And I thought that was really cool. But my cleaning lady kept complaining about the noise and stuff like that. And I thought, I think customers want to be a little bit entertained. But after about a year or so, then the other thing you could do with that box is I had a login and it knew which box I was communicating with. I could create like a 1-minute video, which I did right here in the studio. I created a 1-minute video and did a walkthrough of the laundry, and I could, I think like every 3 songs or every 4 songs, play one of our videos, up on the TV. And that was really cool. But the box kept failing. Like it would work for a couple months and then I'd have to get another one. And they would send us one for free. And the reason why they're doing that is because they do advertising through that as well. So they were giving us the box for free. But after about 2 years, I think I replaced the box 4 times, and I'm like, okay, I'm done here. And we have the TV connected with an HDMI cable. So I didn't realize this since I was using the box. But once I took the box away, the TV connected to the local internet, and then I got all these different music options on the TV. Now, I don't have the flexibility like I had with the loop player, and I can't play my own commercials. But all I did was just we have it 24/7 right now. It's on something called the Spa channel, and it's just nice. It's almost like elevator music, but it's calming music, which to me probably makes more sense because I don't want people coming in there looking for rock music and messing up our laundry, because it doesn't take much for people's brains to get to the point where they're going to do something stupid and break something in our laundry. So we got the spot, and they come in and they, the thing that people say is most about our laundry is that it's clean. Probably the cleanest laundry that they've been to, and that's what draws them. So, and Mary likes to do decorations, but she hasn't done too much up there.
But like I like how you said or started talking about like seasonal stuff, because whenever I think about seasonal stuff, me personally, I think about whenever I went over to one of my uncle. His name is you might know him. His name is dang it, I should know this. I just haven't talked to him in a while.
Where's he from?
So, Uncle Paul, or Paul Bickle. You might know Paul Bickle. So he basically runs his own tea shop, and every year we used to go over to this tea shop and just decorate it for Christmas or Halloween. And we had a like full-size cardboard cutout of him that we put in the window, And so we signed him up for this thing every year. It was like a Christmas competition or business decoration competition. Now, I don't know if you guys have that in Lapel, but if you do, then that's great. But either way, I think maybe if you had kids, because I don't know how you did the painting thing, where you had the kids come over and paint it, whether that was for in the middle of school, because if it was in the middle of school, then the kids would really want to do it. But if it was after, it would not be very willing. So
it was during school. I was just messing around with our screen, almost like you and I are still doing a live stream. And I just wanted to mess around with some things while we're doing this, just to kind of practice a little bit. But yeah, they did come over with their art teacher. There was probably about 5 or 6 students. They were way underprepared for the little task that they were going to do. So I ended up buying the paints for them, and which I didn't mind that. It's our benefit. So I didn't mind buying the paints, but they needed ladders and all kinds of stuff. So they were not prepared at all, but they got the job done. And it's not the greatest. I mean, it's a nice painting. It's not great, but there's a story behind it that we partnered up with somebody in the community to do what we wanted to do, and that's why we leave it there.
Yeah. Hold up, wait, I'm trying to pull up the picture. So what we did for his shop was we kind of went over there and just put up decorations. And so what I'm thinking is maybe the kids would want to, or maybe you could get the kids. Hold up, I'm gonna share my screen.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you can see this stage.
Now, this is something for us to practice, because I may have to stop my share to be able to do your share.
Okay.
Oh, something just changed.
Well, basically the gist of it is you spray fake snow.
So hold on 1 second. Down, I don't know if you see this, but below the main screen, I see the different pieces that you can add to the stage. So you would have to click add to stage. I see you have it there.
Okay.
Oh, it went away. It got deleted.
Share screen.
Yeah.
Window, screen. Just do this. Can you see it? Screen. Is my screen showing?
I don't see. It looks like you're trying to share your screen, but you're not on the you're not on your YouTube screen or whatever, where you were showing the houses that are snowy. You selected the wrong screen.
So this right here, something like this would be.
There you
wouldn't
go.
be painted.
There you go.
But it would be like painted inside, which it's kind of crazy if you do it on your own, because it takes a very long time.
Yeah.
Just by yourself. But I was thinking maybe you could have like kids come over and decorate it for Halloween.
Yeah, that's good. Good.
And just have, even if you could have those like just sitting in the back of storage or something like that, I think that would be pretty good.
I think Yeah.
Okay.
One of the things I just noticed that we want to do this as panelists is you can, I mean, I don't know, you can probably see this, that I'm very clear and you know that your camera isn't quite as clear as mine, which is okay. But the other thing I'd want to adjust is that you're almost a head higher than I am. There you go. That's one of the things that we'd want to pay attention to when, we go live. Just little stuff like that. All right. What else you got?
So let's go to my notes.
Uh-oh, here we go.
So also with the car wash, do you have trash cans out there?
We do not have trash cans out there. Yeah, boy, that's a tricky one because sometimes we did for a little while, and we got people who weren't customers would come and dump their trash there. So it is a tricky one, but we've tossed that idea back and forth a little bit. It really hasn't been a problem. If you caught when I was going through, there was the vacuum cleaner there, and we charged $1 for 4 minutes or something like that. We kept having problems with it. It wasn't worth fixing it, so I had a buddy of mine rig up a switch that it's free. You just push the button and you get 4 minutes, right? And it doesn't take up a lot of electricity, it doesn't take up a lot of energy, but it brings customers in. That's one more way for us to bring customers. The reason why I'm bringing that up, though, is because in a couple of years, we've had one lady, I don't know what her problem was, but she came and she was sweeping, and she literally took her trash out of her car and dumped it in the parking lot, And you get people like that, It's not normal, but you will get somebody like that once in a while.
I think maybe a way, like if you can get trash cans, maybe a way to do that would be setting up some sort of system to where you could sell them trash bags, like something there. Because if they're going to be throwing stuff out onto the, which actually I should probably ask this beforehand. Is there a problem with people pulling up and then just throwing trash out, or?
Yeah, we just had that one person one time. I'm thinking about one more thing here is I can tell from the screen, I'm not looking at the screen and you are. So obviously I can tell where you're looking at your camera. I have two screens here and I'm looking back and forth. Cameras in the middle. What I might do is move this camera over here. Give me 1 second. Let me try something. Okay. Something to think about. It's not quite.
I was thinking maybe something like selling trash bags, because people, they have a bunch of trash in the bottom of their vehicles, which my family, 11 kids, the kids tend to throw stuff everywhere, right? Yeah. And there comes a point in time to where we need to clean out the vehicles and it's just full of trash. So I'm thinking maybe if you set some sort of way, like, okay, whether it be in, because let me get this right. So is the dog washing thing right across from the car washing place?
So the size of the laundry, I'll get to your question. The size of the laundry, you can probably see when you open the door to the other end of the building. I don't know, it's like 35 or 40 feet. The car wash and dog wash building are identical. They're the same building. They're cinder block and all that stuff. It's just that the car wash. Now it's a one-day car wash on the one side and a dog wash on the other side, but they're in the same building. They're steps apart from each other.
I think maybe put like if you could, it doesn't have to be perfect at the start, but maybe like a sign that says trash bags sold here or something like that. And inside, if you wanted to do it inside or outside, depending. Which I think better option would be doing it inside, so that people, whenever they walk in, they're like, oh, this isn't just a car washing thing. This also is a place where I can come and wash my dog.
So we do have, it's interesting. We have, I got these for free. So I should have said, I was saying earlier about the pricing that we have on the vending machine. You know, we buy candy and we get it in bulk, but we get it for this price. So we charge this much. Same thing for the soda, thing for the chips. On the other end of the wall, I don't think I showed this at all. We have another vending machine that's the soap vending. You see this in every laundry you go to. You know, there's powders, there's all kinds of stuff. Well, one of the things, and you buy those in bulk, and I know this because I've done it so often, is that when you buy a box that fits in those vending machines, and these vending machines are 20 years old at least, but so many people have them that they haven't gone out of style yet. So they're still there. It still makes the vending boxes, you know, like it's on my screen here, but you know, they're only about this big and they're about this tall because they have to fit in the slot, you know. So you fill that up in the slots and you get 156 in a box. So a friend of mine used to own a laundry and she sold it, and she had these three boxes of 156. They're not called, they're not trash bags, but they're meant for laundry, like laundry bags. They could be used for trash bags, but they don't sell very well. You know, nobody in the laundry really wants to buy those bags, but they would be great for people who were at the car wash and needed trash bags. So I like that idea. Very good.
So that was an idea, like maybe just on the spot, like maybe sell the bags, something like that. Next one, let's see. Oh yeah. So like for also because I noticed that you said something about the car wash. Whenever all the dirt would fall out of somebody's car, it would go down immediately into the drain. So I was thinking maybe a fix with that for that, which I don't want to say this could be a fix because it also can be coming out of increments, but maybe like fill it up with concrete and raise that point where that's on top, and then all the water would go out, and then set up like drainage system on the sides so that the water would be redirected into the street. And block it. But I don't know if that's like if you'd be able to do that with the budget that you have.
Yeah, there would be some zoning requirements that would not allow us to do. They wouldn't allow us to, you know, dump the water out into the street. I mean, not on a regular basis. I was talking about it earlier today, and I said that once that pit gets to a certain point, the water starts to flow over. You know, so that gives me the indication. Hey, it's that time of year. You know, we got to go do this. So I'll go up there. I'll get the sump pump out. I'll pump it out, and that'll probably give me a couple more days of, you know, like I have enough level in there that I get a couple more days. I know who to call. That'll come and pump or come and dig the crap out of there. But unfortunately, I can't think of any other way to not get the hassle in there. And the guy that I bought this laundry off of, he's into a lot of businesses, and he owns another car wash. He said he wanted to get out of the car wash, but he's got another car wash, and this one has about 6 bays in it, and he's got the same thing in every. You know, he has 6 of them that he has to clean out. So we talk once in a while and asked if, you know, hey, did you find a way to solve this problem? And we haven't come up with anything better yet. So it's a pain.
That's one thing. So you know, whenever we're talking about vending machines, everybody thinks vending machines, the ones that we have from back then, they're really good. But I actually watched this video, it's a YouTube video about how they integrated AI into these vending machines, where like you open it up and then somebody grabs a drink and pulls it out, and it's like an open vending machine. So like you got all these drinks, you can pull whatever you want out of there, and it sees that and it automatically charges your card. And so one of those vending machines brings in, like, I think it was in a good spot anyways, it brings in $1,200 per week or per month, one of the two, that in revenue. Whereas the other vending machine might bring in, say, 250, right? And so I think that many people can do a job consistently, but that doesn't mean that there's never going to be a fix for some of the problems, right? And so I think for me, my idea would be to raise that up, but you probably won't be able to do that with your budget. So there. Oh, wait, hold up. I just watched this video the other day. It was talking about this resin poured rocks, right? And so this probably would be more in the budget. Now, what this resin poured rocks thing does is it is a bunch of rocks that have resin covered in them, and it lets water through, but it doesn't get like clogged with a bunch of dirt. I don't think.
Yeah.
And so you could drive over it, and it would be like concrete. But sorry about that, voice crack. But like it would let water through, but I don't think that it would have enough space for all the dirt to like fall down unless it was over
Yeah.
time.
Well, one of the things we're going to do, and we'll schedule this to happen the next time we dig the pit out, because we're going to have the pit bare to be able to do this. But so the pit is a rectangle. You know, it's 6 feet long by about 3 feet wide. On the wall over here is where the wand is. You know, the gun that you use to spray your car, and that fits in a sleeve. Now that water drips out of that, and there's a little hole that goes down under the cement, and it drains into the pit. You know, so that's the hole on this side. The hole on the other side of the pit is where the water is supposed to go out. Okay. And I have this conversation all the time, even with the restaurant next to us, is that they've got water problems. We've got water problems. Our pipes are all connected, and the system's very old. It's kind of a crappy system in the town. I mean, a lot of people complain about the water in the town, but what's happening is that drain, the pit's about 5 feet deep. I think the drain hole is about, I'm going to say 4 feet deep. I'm not sure. You know, there's it's not at the very bottom. It's on the side of the wall, and it's about a foot up. And I've gone in there already, and I've taken a snake. You know, it's an electronic snake, or not electronic, but it's a mechanical thing that you put through a hole, and yeah.
I've done
okay.
stuff,
so you put that in, and I've had it where, it started to fill up and get clogged, and I've used that, and all of a sudden it went like that, and everything came out, and, it was great. But the next time what we're going to do is we're going to dig the pit all the way down. We're going to put a little curved, I don't know if it's going to be metal or plastic, but we're going to put it so that let's say this is the hole right here, and this is the wall. We're going to put this curved pipe around it, 4 feet tall, so that the water has to raise to the level of 4 feet, but then it'll drain into that hole, but it'll be the water only. The mud and stuff like that will be out here in the majority of the hole. This is just going to be a protective area, just that tall, so we're thinking about that. We haven't figured it out yet, but that's our plan for the next time we dig the pit out.
Yeah, but it's a hard like thing to know how to fix. But
yeah,
I think if you put enough time or thought into it, anything is really possible.
Yeah. My buddy Nick, who was there today that I was talking about, who's very handy, just such a handy guy. If Nick and I sat down for about 5 minutes, he and I would figure it out, so we'll figure it out, and he'll be the one to install it. He actually said to me, he came up with the idea of the curved, and from his HVAC, he's heating and ventilation type of thing. He even said, I get extra pieces of this thing all the time. I don't remember what it was, but he said we could just attach that, like put some screws in there and attach it and just curve it around that. And he said that'll work. So, he was doing a lot of this hands, so.
All right. So that I see you have a plan for that. So that could probably be, I want to work you well on that. Hopefully that'll work out.
Yeah.
So I do think that there's something that can be done to any type of business to make it grow more. And that's something that I heard from the film YouTuber. He was talking about how rather than going at your business, which sometimes people should do this. Like look at your own business, see flaws in your own business, fix them up. That's good. I'm not saying that's bad, but if you focus solely on what you do wrong, then you miss out opportunity to be better than your competitors, right? And so whenever you look at competitors, the question that you should not be asking is, how do I do better than them? It's what thing are they struggling with, or what's their one weakness or flaw that I could do better in, right? Not what are they doing good that I can improve on, but what are they doing bad that I can
Right.
And so you could probably ask ChatGPT, like, hey, so give me a list of things that are wrong with current laundromat, or things that are annoying or struggles or any of that in current laundromats, and then you can build off of that. And yeah, it's just a thought to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the things about the laundry is that they're pretty much they're a convenience based service. You know, people don't order stuff from us. You know, like we're not like a store where we're shipping out products. People have to come to our location to be to do what they need to do. So probably first and foremost for everybody that's coming, the first thing they're going to look at is how close are you? You know, if I've got one 1 mile away or one that's 10 miles away, they're going to choose the one that's one mile away, except and unless in the circumstance I mentioned earlier in the call today, that the people in Noblesville, we had so many people coming up from Noblesville that, you know, they just didn't like the laundry, you know, down there. It was falling apart. Everything was not working. And those people then sold the business, and the new owners came in and they did a nice job of fixing it in. So fixing it. Now, I was not on the call with you guys when Michael asked me a few questions about the laundry. And one of the things that we're hoping for is that Lapel, I don't know, let's see, you're in Anderson. So Lapel's kind of halfway between where I'm at now in Fishers and Anderson. You know, it's not a direct shot, but it's kind of up and over towards Anderson. For us, Lapel is a small little town gem that is growing. It's not growing very fast, but I think it's going to get to a point where the scales will tip and then it'll start growing faster. Our town council is made up of a lot of old people. The town council in Lapel made up of a lot of older people who have older ideas. I was on the Lapel Chatter site about a week ago, and somebody said, "Hey, the builder who tried to come in a year ago that wants to build, I don't know, it was like 75 homes in the development. They're going to be talking at the whatever meeting they needed to talk at about that. They would like to come back in and try to build some homes again." And all these stupid people come up. It's like, we don't need more people around here. We don't need more homes around here. You know, it's kind of out there in the country. It's this little town out there in the country. You know, what we need is like a Walmart or a Kroger or, you know, a big box store like that. And so I just happened to look up Lapel, and it's got 2,500 people, population 2,500. I'm like, guys, you got to have some business sense. You know, nobody's going to put a Walmart or a Kroger or whatever here for 2,500 people, you know. And then other people were complaining, is like, we don't need homes, we need better water, like we were talking about earlier. Well, again, the town of Lapel needs a tax base with money coming in to pay for those kind of, you know, infrastructure type things. So I don't know if I get the chance to talk at that next meeting, but I might just call some people like idiots, but I probably won't.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
how it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, just call them out in the front.
I mean, you can only stand in the face of progress for so long. Like, you know, like a farmer, for example, that lives. I mean, literally, if you go from the laundry to the gas station to the convenience store to the high school, you know, it's not. They're only like a mile within each other, and you go much further than that, and you're in cornfields. So at some point, the land is going to become so valuable to builders that they're just going to offer a price that a farmer is not going to be able to resist. And at that point, then you got homes coming in, which that's kind of what we're hoping for, because it brings in more customers, brings in more exposure. And at some point, and this is what I was telling Michael, is I expect that within a couple of years, we're going to sell the laundry, probably not for a laundry. I mean, somebody might say they want to keep it as a laundry, but I suspect somebody's going to say, I can tear that down or replace the laundry and put this business in it and whatever it is, and it'll be more profitable than a laundry. You know, that's what I see happening in the future.
I see.
Yeah.
But also like just a side little note. I don't like to go back and forth between different like parts of the conversation, but with the drainage, did you do something with the city to say, hey, you guys need to fix this part of town
Oh yeah.
because there's a water issue? Or
Yeah, they know about it. In fact, I was at the town council 2 months ago to actually talk about this class. You know, let them know that we're going to be teaching this class, and they had a guy there who was talking about the water issues. So I think it's a regular agenda item for them to talk about the water issues. And he said somebody, I can't remember, somebody else that was there who owns a business said something about, they get orange water, which we get every once in a while too. So he said, hey, I know that we're not open all the time, but here's my number. As soon as that happens, let us know so that we can investigate right away so that we can find out where. He said he knows these issues are happening, but if he doesn't know about them until like a week later, they can't investigate them at that point. So I literally after the meeting, I went over and told him who I was, that we own the laundry. And if we get orange water, I mean, we could ruin people's clothes, So he is very good to talk to and just said, as soon as you have a problem, call us. And if we have somebody, that's in the street that can drive a truck over, we'll see what we can do. Not only to solve our problem, but to help them solve more of a long-term issue.
I see. I'm trying to look at the things.
Man, you got a lot of notes. What are you doing? Taking all these notes.
I had a lot of free time, and I like to think.
I mean, you're acting like you're a real student or something.
Like a
real student.
Hey, I mean, I'm always learning. God bless me with a lot.
Yeah, no, that's great. I like to joke around a lot. I got the older man dad humor, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, man, it's a good thing to have though. Yeah, a lot of depends on the age group, but not many people have that.
Yeah.
So let's see. Yeah, I already said that. Okay, is that? Oh yeah. So I did want to address the homework though. So I kind of was putting in an electric fence for one of my friends until like 11 o'clock last night, and so I wasn't able to get to any of the homework.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll be able to get to it soon.
Excuses. Yeah. Yeah. No worries. Nobody's flunking this class. I'm not giving out grades. It's really, you guys get out of it what you can get out of it. It's I haven't taught too many classes on this, so it's an opportunity for me to figure out what I want to do. And I'm actually feeling like the more I want to teach class, or the more I teach classes, I feel like I think I really want to do this more, the streaming, what we're doing, and the book or books. The classes may come, who knows, but there's probably people out there that could read the book or partner with us and say that they'd like to teach it, and I would rather turn it over to them to do that.
I see. Yeah. So speaking of turning things over, so like for me, I'm more of an entrepreneur-ish type thing mixed with business, and so whenever I think about business stuff, I think, okay, how can I make a business the best that it is, or better than it already is, and how can I improve like the tiniest little things that can make it go from not making anything or not being successful at all? How can I make this aspect of the business? How can I make it better? And so I was thinking, okay, well, I don't want to solely focus on something like say I'm trying to start is very unpopular, but a hamburger restaurant. Say I'm trying to start one of those, and I start the business, I grow it super big, and I'm like, this is really fun, and I'm obsessing over this, but I don't want to continue doing a hamburger business.
Yeah.
I don't want to continue doing this for my whole life because it'll get boring after a little while. And so the thing that I want to do whenever I make my own business and grow it really big is I want to make sure that I can hand it off to somebody else, still earning revenue from it, but they get the main or the most money from that, and I earn some of the money. Then I go out and start my own business somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
And until I have all these little revenue sources coming over to me, so that I can found this business that I've really been looking towards. I was going to name it Noble Industries, but that's already a name for a company. So probably something like Sir Noble Industries, Noble G Industries, something like that.
Yep.
And so that is basically going to be a company that makes as much stuff as I can, right? And I know everybody that manages it. And the people that are replaced with it, I can't just make it be some random guy on the side of the street, because then he might be like, okay, I'm not going to manage it properly, or I am going to do everything for my gain, right? And try to be like the person in the Bible or the bad servants of the Bible who tried to take all the money for themselves and said, no, screw you, And so I was thinking, if I got something like maybe some missionaries who either thought they wanted to be missionaries, or even just they thought they wanted to, ended up not wanting to go to missionary stuff, or even just a Christian community in general. I want to plant people in certain parts, like, okay, I'm going to give you this business to manage. I know that you love and respect God, and I know that you're seeking Him first. So I'm going to entrust this into you. You got to do well with it, right? You got to do well. You got to manage it, and you got to grow it. But not only do you have to do that, but you also have to manage the community around it. Because you think about it, having a business is very great responsibility, right?
Yeah.
It's a great responsibility to own a business. But with that responsibility comes, like, it comes service. Like, you gotta be able to manage that responsibility right? With great power comes great responsibility. Uncle Ben said it, so we all gotta follow it. And so that responsibility, you just gotta do well with it. And so
yeah. So I'll pause you there. I'll interrupt here for a second. So sorry. So I think we've developed a good reputation. Again, we've been there. I mean, 3 weeks from now, it'll be 4 years. And, everybody doesn't trust the new owner that comes in, and, what are they going to do? But, for example, the event we were doing today, it's a charity event. We've done it every other month for, probably 3 years now, that we've been doing this. And, if people lose money because some machine wasn't working, I mean, everybody pretty much knows we take care of them. If they say they lose $1, we put $2 in their refund, things like that. I mean, that's just kind of a silly example, but it goes a long way. People are expecting the worst, I guess, because the way they've been treated, hey, this guy probably won't ever even respond to me. And we respond, so the people love the dog wash. When we've had trouble with the dog wash, we take care of people. So I think for the most part, the town knows that we take care of them. And, even one of the things I hate to do is we've had some people that come in and have done some stupid things, and they've broken something, and I've got cameras all over the place. So I'll take 3 or 4 pictures from the camera, and I'll post it on Facebook, and I'll say, hey guys, anybody know who this is? Could you get this person in touch with me? And for the most part, they don't know. Am I trying to get in touch with this person because they lost clothes? They lost money? Probably no. I'm trying to get in touch with them because they did something stupid. But for the most part, that takes care of things. If I'm really upset with the person, I'll say, we really want to talk to this person rather than go to the police. and that usually generates a response. And the townspeople are pretty good. They'll sometimes they go down a rabbit hole. They'll say, "Oh my God, these people don't know how to, discipline their own kids. That's what we're lacking in the world today." It's like, guys, I didn't want to go down that path at all. I'm just saying, I got to talk to this person. What we're usually trying to do is talk to the person and tell them, "Hey, we have cameras. You could go to jail for what you did, or you could end up owing us money for what you did. We're not going to do any of that, but we just, can you help us out here?" But it's usually just enough deterrent to kind of stop it from happening. It doesn't stop at 100%, certainly, but it's one of those sucky things that you have to do.
Absolutely, and it's the hard thing to do because, like, sometimes, for instance, like whenever you're talking about inflation and all that, like sometimes you do need to charge 25 cents for something,
right?
Or 25 cents more for something. Sometimes you do need to maybe even make it 50 cents if you can't afford it. And so it's something that I really struggle with, to where whenever somebody asks me, okay, so what is your hourly wage to work here? To say, like, for instance, one of my friends who hired me for the electric dog fence yesterday, he was saying, okay, so how much do I owe you? And I'm sitting there like, okay, I don't want to say like what I worked, because that makes me seem like I'm saying, oh, I want this huge, crazy price.
Yeah.
In reality, what I got to realize is I'm worth whatever I worked for, right? And like most people, which my hourly rate was like $12 an hour or something like that. So I was like, okay, that's 12 times, I think it was 7 hours and 15 minutes, something like that. And so I told them and all that other stuff, but I'm just saying, like, it's hard to do that, but it is something that needs to be done, because if you don't do it, then you're kind of just bending to every little.
So if I don't know if you remember from the first class that I did on Tuesday, I had a slide that came up and said about you protecting your money that you earn. Like, once you get a job and you make money, now how do you protect your money? And I remember the slide said there are a lot of things out there that you have to spend money, that like your car. Everything's going great, and then all of a sudden your car breaks down. That was one bullet point, and then the other one was there are lots of people out there willing to take your money. So that's one thing you got to think about. Like I gave the example of the gutters that I got here on the house. That one guy wanted to charge $9,000 for this super fantastic gutter system, and the other guys said, "Todd, you buy the materials for $350, and we're going to install it for $300, $650 versus $9,000." So if I reverse that, I didn't say this in the test, but if I reverse this, which is just the opposite, it's now you have to think about how much do you charge, not just protecting the money that you get, but now how much do you charge for services. Using your example, what you'd want to think about is how much is the job that I just did worth? So I'm an older guy now, and my wife and I both have had good jobs. So if we're talking like, we make $70 an hour. I'm throwing out a number. But, we're up in that range. But if I was going to go help some guy mowing his lawn, I'm not going to charge him $70 an hour. It's not worth it for mowing a lawn. You are more valuable in a certain you personally are more valuable in a certain space because you have skills in this. But for helping out with the fence, you're manual labor basically. At that point. And it also has a little bit to do with what your friendship's like with your friend, and how much is he getting, for it. Like, if you put in 50% of the work, maybe you don't get 50% of the money because he had a relationship to get the job. But hopefully he treats you well. And if he doesn't, then you don't work for him again.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, but he was fair with his money. I knew everything about the electric dog fence being put up because, like, I did it myself, and I knew all these different problems that I had. And we finished that. I think we finished at like 10:30, and then we finished at 10:30, and then it was a very long drive home. So like finished that, and I'm like, oh man, okay, worth this, whatever. And we got home that day. It was great. Yeah, but I knew a bunch of that different thing or different stuff because I did a lot of research on that. And so he was sitting there like, okay, how do you lay it out? What does it look like to do that? And I'm like, okay, this is what I did. This is what you should do. And he gives me something that he says he's going to do, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that's a good thing to do. And I didn't think about that before.
Yeah.
So it really just makes you think about that. And last, also, somewhat the last thing I wanted to talk about. So, like, something that I did a little while back was I made this thing out of a bunch of cardboard this one time. It was a 7 foot 7 inch tall Minecraft caricature, and now it's pretty crazy big. Touches the eye a lot, and so the thing that showed me was many people nowadays, they don't think about stuff like that. They don't think like, oh man, there's probably going to be this crazy thing whenever I go over to this one place, right? But you look at a very successful restaurant, such as I don't know if you've ever been to what is it called? Okay, it's got a bunch of animatronics.
I
The
don't know.
Rainforest Cafe.
Oh yeah. Yeah, down of
It's got
Disney.
a bunch of animatronics.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy whenever you look at it, right? You wouldn't expect that in a regular place. And so the reason why it blew up was because nobody nowadays do any animatronic stuff, right?
Right.
But there's something unique in that they did that nobody else did, and it caught people's attention, and they're like, "Ooh, this is crazy! I'm gonna record this. The food's really good. It's pretty expensive, but it's really good." And you're sitting in a rainforest, and there's thunderstorms every 30 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And it's something unique, right? And so the thing that I'm thinking about is if I'm going to start if I'm going to start a business of any kind, say, for instance, an example, a laundromat. If I ever chose to start one of those, I would probably want to put something there for the kids. Something there for the kids to be like, "Oh my goodness, this is crazy, right?" And what are kids interested in nowadays? Kids are interested in stuff like video games, Minecraft. And so the thing that I would do if I was like in your situation is I would probably put something there like the giant 6 foot 7 foot 7 inch like that caricature got like so many people's attention, like, whoa, that's crazy, right? And it's pretty easy for me to make personally. And I think not very many people are willing to put in the effort to just build something big and dumb looking that they would soon be like, oh man, that's a waste of money. But for the kid, they would look at that like, this is crazy, right? And so if you have something like that, even it doesn't have to be very big, get something, say, in the corner that's like catching the kids' eye and getting all their attention. Parents are going to be like going over there and then doing their laundry, and the kids are, focusing on this. And you're like, man, this is a pretty good experience. Like, I got all my kids over focused on this one area, like what McDonald's would do with all the big places.
Oh, maybe we'll put a 7 foot Bigfoot in there, like a Sasquatch or something like that. But
it'd be pretty crazy. But like, I think maybe make it something that would catch their eye or something creative, So I made this. Hold up, let me bring the camera because I like making stuff randomly, fun stuff, whatever stuff I can make. And so I made this and got a bunch of people's attention. Now this is a Minecraft bookshelf, right? And it's from the game Minecraft, and that's also a test or something like that. So I made this, and I got a lot of attention online because people, they don't see regular everyday people making stuff like this, and it's also a joy. So it doesn't have to be something that's that big, but it could be something that's different from everybody else,
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I have to think about that, and certainly
and also like publicity, just another thing, like if you had people seeing something like that and being like, "Oh man, yo, they have that in a laundromat? That's so
Yeah.
weird." They take a picture of it and they post it online.
Yeah.
And then other people see that and be like, "Man, I have to do my laundry this one time, and that's like, sure, it's like 30 minutes away, but I've never seen that in a laundromat before."
The place, the laundry with the Sasquatch, you know,
Yeah,
something like that.
maybe not a Sasquatch though, because then like
Yeah.
people have already done stuff with Sasquatches.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Or we'll put a sign or a 7-foot thing of Taylor Swift. I don't know.
Yeah. Taylor Swift grew like a foot and a half. Actually, no, she's like 5 foot, I think.
Yeah.
She grew like 2 foot, and she's in a laundromat.
Yeah.
No,
So I want to cut us off here at some point, but any more questions about this? And then I want to just wrap up with 5 minutes about the show.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. So I did want to ask you, because like I know the thing with your mom, like that's pretty hard. Like I just wanted to ask you, like, how are you doing now?
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, really. Right now I'm kind of dragging, and I am not a guy who gets tired. You know, I never have as a kid, but I'm tired today. This is actually my wife's mom, who has turned 95 Sunday a week ago. I mean, tomorrow will be 2 weeks that she's 95, and the next day she broke 3 ribs. You know, and that's really bad. And then she got some fluid in here that settled almost like pneumonia, you know, around that spot. So we got her some antibiotics and some other painkiller medicines, and I think that she maybe almost overdosed yesterday. But she was asleep for 25 hours, and we could not get her to wake up. You know, so we didn't think she was going to wake up and she was going to pass away. So yesterday was Friday, so Thursday, and I can't even remember what I said on the class today, but I planned to get away from my wife and me. We went to a campground with our camper an hour and a half away, Wednesday and Thursday. We literally got to the campground, unhooking a camper and getting it connected to everything is a chore. Like, it took us a half an hour just to get connected and everything. Literally, as soon as we were done, we got the call that she was going to the ER. So we drove an hour and a half back. My wife said, we don't have to camper up the camper. We might, depending on how it go back. And I knew that we won, but we left. And then she was in the ER. She did come home that night, and Mary stayed with her, but then she came home the next morning, and we drove back to the campground, picked up the camper, and just came back, you know. So we didn't, we paid for everything, but we didn't get to use it. Brought the camper back, took it back to storage, took Mary right over to her mom's, and then went back home to get her clothes and stuff like that. So Mary hasn't been here at home to sleep for 3 nights, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I doubt that she's going to be coming home tonight because we're still trying to arrange 24-hour care for her mom. And we are talking about potentially moving her mom to our house, like on the first floor. So we're going to have to make some arrangements here pretty soon. But I appreciate you asking. The mom is alert today, which is a good sign, but we can see a decline coming pretty quickly. And she's 95, so we still celebrate. It's been a long, really good life. And then we were going to go to my parents in Pennsylvania on Wednesday because my mom is in good shape and my dad's having some issues as well. And I just told my folks that I'm going to have to put that off a week and go the next week until we get some things resolved here. And then I'll probably go by myself. Mary hates to. Actually, I don't think I've ever gone to Pennsylvania. Yeah, I have gone to Pennsylvania without her. She wants to be there to be with the family, and we just know that won't work this time. So I'll make the drive myself. Hopefully, I'll get to drive down to Virginia and spend some time with my daughters while I'm there as well. So it's just a lot, But we've. I said it in my class in the class on Tuesday that I've had some hard coaches, and in a good way. I've had some coaches that were hard, who were real butts, the way they went about it, and I've had some really good ones, a lot of good ones that were really good, and I feel like I've got my feet pretty well under me. I do not get anxiety. I don't get stressed. I don't have depression at all in any way. So, to me, this we're just tackling life every day, and every day new situations come at you. So you just got to do what you got to do. And we're both grounded very well in our faith. So.
That's very hard though. Like especially it all happening like all at the same time.
Yeah.
I think that's a very. I really respect you for like even doing this class. Like you didn't have to go to laundry and talk to everybody there. Like you could have just said, guys, like my wife's mom, he's in really bad condition.
Yeah.
We're trying to get a bunch of stuff figured out. I think I probably will have to cancel this. Like that
was a discussion. That was a discussion. Yeah.
That would have been the easiest thing to do, but you chose to say, guys, so we're going to continue on doing this. I'm struggling with some stuff right now, but we'll get through it some way or somehow. And
well, if Mary's mom had gone the other direction and had it gone worse, that probably would have hurt. We probably would have canceled it. We're going to have to push this off. I said today that probably the rest of the classes are going to be remote because I don't know if I'm going to be with Mary here or if I'm going to be in Pennsylvania with my parents. So I just can't commit to being up in Anderson, which, 40 minutes for me to drive up there. So that's why we had that conversation.
Yeah. But it's honestly very, very hard thing to do.
Yeah.
I'll be sure to pray for you with that.
Yeah. I appreciate that. We've got a lot of good people around us to help us out. And we just, when we were there all day with Mary's mom yesterday, we had people in and out all day. So it was a good thing. There was a little bit of tears because we thought she was gone, and then all the people that were coming in were saying goodbyes, so that was pretty tough to watch that all day long, so we got through that. But that day is going to come, soon enough, not just with Mary's mom, but with my parents as well. So we're kind of there. We're in that stage of life.
I think as much as it's something that's really hard to go through, like I think it also for that person who's about to go, I think it also is a very comforting thing to them because like they're sitting there, they're like I've lived a good life. I've not lived it perfectly, but I was with God for a specific time, and people they focus on, oh my goodness, this person, they're leaving this world, they're leaving all this good stuff in this world, but they're not looking behind them. They're not looking and saying, man, I really wish I hung out with my friends that one time. They're saying, man, I really wish I got to hang.
We won't get to that in this class, but I talk a lot about I showed it the other day, the timeline, the rope, and I have an entire chapter written on that, and it really is about how you will look back on your life at the end. Like, what do you want people to say about you? What did you want to accomplish? What did you want to leave behind? What's your legacy? And more importantly, this is one of the things I know that I wrote, is when you ask people at the end of their life what they wish they had done more or had more of, it's not money, it's not things. They'll usually say time or friends, like they'd spent more time with friends or family. So, and then one of the homework exercises, you're going to get a jump on this because you're going to hear this, but one of the homework exercises in that chapter, again, not for this class, actually I might put it in this class because I think it's a good exercise no matter what, is write a note to your younger self. Either, did you say you're 17 or 18?
17.
Okay, so you could either write a note to yourself at 17 and write into yourself when you were 13 or 14, what have you learned? Or you could write to yourself as if you were 30 and you're writing to your 17-year-old self, what could you do? And you're really trying to, think about those things, because those years are going to come pretty quickly. And then another thing that we do in one of the lessons is write your obituary. Like what would you want to see about you at the end of your life? So we don't try to be morbid or anything like that. We want to celebrate your life, but if this is your plan, that you want people to say this at the end of your life, well, you might want to start those things now. Like, how do you get people to say that about your life? Are you living that kind of life today? I don't care if you're 10 years old or 50 years old. Are you living that kind of life that's going to allow people to say about you? So we had a lot about time in our classes.
Yeah, I think 99% of people, they think, what would I done differently? But if they really knew what was ahead of them, they would say, I'm excited for that. Because all these Christians, they look back at their life, they're like, man, all this good stuff is continuing, which is good. It's good that it's going to end, but it's, also somewhat disappointing for everybody around you. But in the future, like, you think about a life living with God, the average Christian, they're excited for dying, because they're saying, my whole life here was not spent focusing on me and my pleasures, but it was focusing on, I want to get closer to God. And now I can have that connection with him, to where I'm so intimate. I'm with him. And so I like to think of it, but that could just be me.
So you brought up a couple of times now about your faith and your desire to talk about it, and I just wanted to let you know that I know that I didn't try to poo-poo the idea. The main thing is that we're not leading with that. But just in our conversations that we're having right now, I'm shifting my focus a little bit. There will be plenty of opportunities for that. We will open up avenues during probably every time we meet, hopefully with a lot of people, that will open up opportunities for that. That will be a conversation. We might even have, I don't know, let's say we did a weekly 1 hour show. I have no idea where this might go, but we might say, I don't know, Faith Corner will be the second hour. If anybody has any talk, or anything that you heard here today that makes you worry about this or wonder about this, we could do that. So we will certainly not put that away. So we'll make it happen.
I think that's good. Yeah, just like one other little side thing where we could just sit and then talk about it, because not many people nowadays, they don't focus on Christianity and business, or they don't focus on like Jesus and business. They just think about, how much money can I make?
Yeah.
What can I make? In general.
Yeah.
So
So I don't. Again, you got to keep me informed about your interest in this. I mean, it sounds like, you wouldn't be asking me all these questions and spending 2 hours on a call now if you didn't have some interest. But stay honest with me. I'd love to continue working with you. I want to make it also so that we can pay you to make this happen. But my goal, I don't know if you can see this, but in the upper left of your screen, at least on my screen, it says live, and then it says number of viewers. Do you have that?
Yeah, it's 2 viewers.
2. It's the 2 of us, and we're at an hour and 55 minutes here, just about. So my goal was that even when I was doing this thing by myself, and I had a different setup behind me here, I got 8 or 9 users, just doing it once in a while. It was not organized at all. I was new at doing it. I sort of did okay, but we're getting better and better at this. Number one. And number two, I didn't have somebody who was in your age group who would have a network of people that could do this. So I'm excited about what we're talking about here. I would love to see, after maybe 6 months of doing this, that number is 100 or 200 or 400, that are chiming in for a weekly show. And again, because this is not a webinar or team or a Zoom type thing where we're talking with all the participants, we have to think about it from a perspective that the two of us or the three of us or the four of us who are going to be on screen, we have to have a good conversation. It's got to be kind of a planned conversation. And it's almost like we're going to be a band. I mean, they have to know what each other is going to play and, what they're going to do. And, if I know that, and I'll just say it, the other two people that I'm thinking about, their names, Brooke, she's a girl, and Brady, he's a Penn State cheerleader. Young guy, a lot of energy. And I would get to the point where, hey, somebody said something in the chat over here, and man, that is right up Brooke's alley. Hey, Brooke, you want to jump in on that? And then we push the button that they still see all four of us, but they see Brooke highlighted and she talks for a little bit, or then Brady talks or you talk or something like that. But, we'll start to learn that about each other as we go forward. Like, what's the best way to do this? And hey, somebody just asked a question, and hey, Todd, don't you have a presentation on that? Yep. Let me pull it up. I'm going to share my screen. I've got the PowerPoint for that. And we'll talk about it.
Yeah, I think that's great though, honestly. With connections, because I'm the type of person to hear something and be like, okay, that connects to this, which also makes these 2 points connect to this, and then like spread it all out. So I think that would be great because like I'm the kind of person to be like, okay, so this slide over here that you had, it really resonated with me because I was thinking about this other thing that related to that. And yeah, I think it's also good that we have a like private chat in here because then I can say, hey, I have a point about the other thing that I wanted to make, and maybe we can even have some sort of signal in the chat so that we're not like dot 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 dot. Every single time that somebody has something to say, like maybe even just like a keyword or key letter like G or something like that, and then send it on the chat, and then like say to somebody else like, okay, this person has something to say, but this is up this other person's alley, so let's let him speak first.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, we could say, hey, yeah, so you had something to say about this. And I could either say, yeah, but she already said it, or I have something to say about this. That's what it is.
Did you see the private chat?
Yeah, saw the private chat. Oh, my hair is very distracting.
You were just saying about private chat, so I just threw that in there. I was just putting something in there to kind of signal that this is something that we wouldn't put in our regular chat for our members. This is just for us. So something like that. Something we want other people to hear. But after doing this for a little bit and clicking the buttons like, we're doing this. Actually, I want to try something here. I would really like this to be so that it's not just me. I think I can do this. I want to try this. Yeah, I was able to flip it. When I clicked the button the first time, it showed me as the primary. But all I did, and you can, I think you just did it also. Did you just do it? No, you didn't do that. No, you can do this right now. So you see that my screen is small. Just put your mouse on it, click it, and drag it over, and it should flip it.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
I figured there had to be a way to do that because, like on Teams, I'm on Teams all day at work, and you can set it in a mode that the speaker becomes highlighted. And you and I have been talking for a little bit, and if I do this, which it just always puts me as the highlighted person, and sometimes I want it to be you or Brooke or Brady, so I just have to drag. I'm going to do it right now, and now you're the bigger screen. So.
Also, I did want to say something because, like, whenever I look at, for instance, look at your screen, I do know that there is a monitor in front of you, but I was thinking maybe if you could center up on the, like, for instance, whenever you look at me, something whenever I look at that Murphy Road, I take up the headspace, right? And so something like this, maybe something like this would take up all the headspace, and you'd have this much headspace. But here, then there's
Yep.
a big
It's different.
between
Yeah.
focus on me whenever I'm a small percentage of that.
Yeah.
If I'm
Yeah. I
right
want to.
here, I'm
I
right
want to show
here,
my
then
background here a little bit, but yeah, and I know that you know this, but a half an hour ago, I just put my camera over here just to try it. So I'm going to actually move the microphone and my monitor to a different position here. So I know what I need to do, but I didn't want to take up time on our call here.
oh yeah, no, it's all good. But like also with Headspace, if I'm right here, then there's barely enough for my hair and everything. And it's kind of hard to focus on this.
Yeah, and
So,
again, it'll probably take a few seconds, but I just switched it back. Now I can tell your sprouts are down a little bit, but when you were up, you were ahead higher than I am. So those are just the things that we'll get better at, as we go. I would expect, again, if we have 4 of us, we would do something like this first time to make sure, are they comfortable with doing what we're doing? What does their background look like? What does their camera look like?
cramp. Sorry, just got an insanely bad leg cramp. Oh man, oh that hurts. Don't drink water.
Yeah, well, we've been sitting here for 2 hours, and we certainly wouldn't do that for a normal thing.
Sorry about that. Just
no, that's okay.
Probably
Sitting here for long, but that's one of the. I think that's one of the good. Let's call it the marketing of this is that if we got to 1 hour, that might even be too much. People may not sit for 1 hour, so maybe it's a half an hour a week, maybe it's a half an hour twice a week. But we have to get to a point where we say it's a half an hour show. We have a very good topic, and we're going to have to carry that into the next one. Something like that.
Yeah, and I also wanted to probably get a different setup here because, a view of these coats is not the best because it's just
that's all right.
Pretty, so I think I'm switch it. I don't know. I'll probably have to look at a couple different options.
Yeah, actually, go back just a second. Was that a cork board where you pin stuff up?
Yeah. This is
okay.
So this is my board right here.
So maybe you have something that just for the show you can drape over that. That's your background, and maybe it's our logo and something else. But I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Or I probably just get this and put a crate on it to make sure that it goes up a little bit more. But say I'm right here and I want to explain a point. This is just for reference. It's not actually going to be I'm going to raise the camera up. But say I'm okay, so in this point, let's say that Sally has 2 friends. Right? And then Joseph has 3. Who's going to have more of an influence, right? So, but it's,
I have a device around here, and I'm not sure where it is. It didn't work very well, but it was a pad that had a stylus, and you could write on it, and it was supposed to show what I was writing literally on the screen. Like it was a chalk or a grease board, like you have right there.
Yeah.
But having something behind as well, having the PowerPoint slide is good, but having something dynamic that you can do on the fly. Who knows? You might be the guy that we say, Noble, take it away, draw on your board, and we switch to that camera. But, there's some really, the camera that I have here, it was meant for podcasting, but it was meant for some other things. I spent too much money. But we can get really, really good quality cameras for less than $100, and I can do that. So, actually, where you're at right now looks really clear for some reason. Like something changed, or maybe it's just the background and the lighting.
It probably was the lighting because you come over here. This is a yellowish light, so it's kind of gonna
you're not as clear. But where you were was. Are you on your phone?
No, I'm actually on my laptop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but over here, there's more natural light, and so it's kind of a little bit clearer, probably.
Okay.
Let me
Well,
check.
like I didn't finish this, but when I was saying earlier, like if we were able to get Brooke and Brady involved, and I suspect Brooke might be more interested than Brady, and the only reason is Brady is still a student at Penn State and probably very busy, but he's interested in doing this. But anyhow, we would get us together for at least a half an hour to an hour to discuss what we're doing here, so that they're comfortable that we talk about all those things, reducing noise. You know, there's been times when I've been recording something, and like I'm down in my basement right now, and my wife has come down. You know, I forgot to tell her I was recording, and she comes down in the middle of a recording. You know, thing, or somebody rings the doorbell and the dog goes crazy. You know, it's those kind of things that can distract. Now you've got 13 members. I was 11 kids, 2 parents.
Yeah.
At least one dog. You know, you know, so it's not for me, it's not an issue. I mean, to me, that just shows people they're just living life. You know, we don't all live in this perfect world where we can make these things go away. But at the same time, you want to make sure that you're not so distracted that, you know, you're distracting people away from the show. So.
Yeah. And like I also have like a bunch of lighting stuff that I got for this green screen. If you look up here, you can see a green screen.
I was going to ask you that. I don't know if you can see this one shot. Oh, now we got you. Give me a second here. That's not what I want. Give me 1 second. I got to flip this around. That's interesting. Since you're the primary right now, when I went to the single shot, you were the single shot, not me. So I got to go back to me being the primary, then go to the single shot, and now it's me. So if you can see off to the side of the chair there, you see that green? That's a green screen.
Okay.
I've got 2 of them. One's a small one and one's a large one. I mean, it holds up easily. And I've done a lot with green screen. There might be an occasion. Let me go back to our two setup. There might be an occasion where, you know, I could turn the camera and set up a wall for a green screen because we want to put something else in it. I think, like, if I go to this, actually, I'm going to go to this. You know, is that good enough? Do we need to go to the green screen? I love doing the green screen, by the way. There were so many different things that you could do with it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, but it also takes away, you know, I mean, I shouldn't say it that way. With the green screen, I can still do something like this. In fact, most of the videos that I did this, but, you know, I had something behind me. I didn't have, you know, the live basement wall. I had the green screen with something like, I think I had a picture in here that looked like I was in the studio, like with a sign that said on air and recording in progress, and, you know, fancy lights. And it wasn't anything that was here in my basement. It was just it was a picture, you know. But yeah, I mean, you're thinking all kinds of production now, which is cool, and, you know, we'll get there. But you know, I think, and you're going to give me some feedback today or some other time, but, you know, with what we're doing right here, I'm watching the pictures and the different things that we can do, and the banners that we can, you know, flip on here. Let me just do this real quick. You know, the banners that we can put on, and all the different things that we can do. I think this is good. I think the production of the show is good. It's not as important as the content of the show, you know? So.
Absolutely. Because if a show can have the best visuals, but
yeah,
if it doesn't have a good storyline, then nobody's really going to be interested.
Yeah.
And so,
you know, I know that you said something about people wanting to make money. My purpose here would also be to make money. I mean, I would like to monetize this and get this to the point where we got a lot of followers, or we're getting some sponsors. Oh, geez. What was I saying? The reason I'm saying that is looking at what we're doing here. I have people online have sites where they have many followers who do just stupid stuff that's less than what we're doing right now. You know, so we'll figure it out. So,
Yeah,
all right.
like even like if say last minute I want to just go over here and be like, okay, so I'm pulling out the green screen right here, and if I ever got something like a stylus, I could just use.
Yeah.
I could just put the green screen, pull it across, and then record using that or something like that. Zoom in a little, raise the camera up. The wrinkles. Wrinkles are a slight problem, but
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
one thing that I'd like to experiment if you want to experiment with this a little bit. Give me 1 second. There is something about green screen with this product, but I have to do a little research if the green screen comes with the version I bought, or if you have to upgrade to do that. So I'll look into that a little bit. But one thing that I know that from doing the green screen that I did was, number one, you have to have really good lighting. I mean, you have to light the green screen really well, or it has to be consistent with the lighting. Like I've got 4 lights, like 2 on each side. I don't have it right now, but I've got enough to do 4 lights, 2 on each side of the green screen, and I cross them. I don't do this. Like if the green screen was in front of me, I don't take these 2 lights and these 2 lights and point them at the green screen. I cross them so that their light goes across each other and then lights the green screen. And then I've got one up in the ceiling here as well. And once I got the lighting correct, it was awesome. You couldn't tell there was a green screen or anything. But the other thing they do talk about a lot is that the green screen has to be pretty well tight. It can't be wrinkled, like you just said. So I've got the green screen on full, and it came with the green screen. And I've got little clamps. I bought them separately. I clamp the green screen to the pole so it pulls it tight. So too much stuff.
too much stuff to just be able to apply a chroma key. But
yeah. All right, Noble. Well, I appreciate you. I really do appreciate you thinking about all the things that you're thinking about. You're asking all the right questions. I feel blessed that we got a chance to meet. And I was always, it's been a number of years. Really, this has been a passion project of mine, a side project for 15 years, where I started writing this material and thinking about this, and I just have not been able to put the time to it. And I'm getting more time these days, but it also, in my mind, took meeting the right person or the right people to put together on this show, because I'd hate to get, like, for example, this show, and I put the wrong person on and we get a bad name right from the start. So
it's kind of also like with, say, somebody who wants to loan out his business to another person so that he can earn revenue, like what I want to do. If I put somebody that's going to do it wrong, then not only does that affect my name because I trusted that person with the business, but it's also going to affect the business itself.
Yeah.
So you got to just,
Yep. Who knows? Instead of it saying Polythrive Coaching, when there's a couple of us as panelists, mine just might say the old man. Like I'm the guy with the experience, and I have different experiences than you do. You're going to have some things that I've never dipped my toe into. But I've been there. I've been through a few years of good and bad. So it's all good. All right, bud.
I think. One last small little thing. I think maybe like if it was consistent enough and people were really into it, maybe it would be a fun thing to just like roast each other and basically say the way that we present ourselves and then put that as the other person's name, right? And so that, like, the old man, and then I don't know, goody two shoes or something like that. But,
well, like I might have said, Brooke is a very pretty girl. So I could see you talking and you could say, hey, you know what? I don't know that much about this. So let's throw that over to the old man. And then another time you might say, hey, Barbie, can you answer that question or something? That seems like a girly question, and you got to be careful there because,
absolutely
doesn't matter who you have on the call. You're going to offend somebody. And again, the older you get, the more you realize that you got to be careful, but at the same time, you can't put too much weight on that. You learn. Hey, you know what? That thing that I said really didn't come off very well. So we'll figure it out for next time. But I usually go about it that you have a good faith background, so do I. We're coming at this for the right reasons. If we made a mistake, people live with it. We could have said that better, but we're here for the right reasons.
I think analyzing the joke, like you think about it, like with the old man, like it's something that we all can joke about. Nobody really cares. But if it was something like, say, you're saying like Barbie to a girl, and nobody else got it because they were like Barbie, like that doesn't really make sense. But if it was a parent joke, like a parent joke, like a dad, right? The dad's a parent, and so Mr. Parent, what's the joke or what's the census on this? And then you could explain that because it's like, I'm a parent, so
yep,
so
for sure.
Maybe just thinking about the joke, Ephesians 5. Just make sure you know what jokes to make at the right time. Don't make anything, say anything that could be used wrongly.
So I didn't think about asking you this question, but let's say we started putting together some content for a show. And again, putting together content shouldn't be that hard for us because we got plenty of topics to talk about. I've got 80 pages of written documentation, that we could draw a topic and on 80 pages, I'll bet there's 300 topics that we could make a half an hour show out of. You don't need a lot of content to make a half an hour show if you have people talking and asking questions. But for you personally, who would you put the show out to? Like, hey, I want you guys to know that I'm about to do this. Like, who would you? What's your group? What's your network?
You mean like who are the people that I'm influencing, like around me?
Yeah. Like, if you were about to say, hey guys, we're going to start a weekly show. It's on, here's the general premise of the show, and here is the first show, and the content's going to be, or the topic's going to be this. Who would you put that out to?
So I have this one friend. His name is Gunner. He was talking to me the other day. He was saying, like, man, like you whenever I look at your life, like you have all of these different options that are available and things that you do. You're a very busy guy. I wish that I was like that. I wish that I had a job, and I wish that I had like all these big things. Right? He's a little bit younger than me, but his brother actually has a job, and he wants to get more into the business side of things and say some work in general. And so I'd be like, okay, actually, so I don't know if this could help you like crazily, but I do this podcast with this guy named Todd, right? And we just basically discuss stuff about business. So maybe we could be talking about how do you find your first job as a teenager?
Yeah.
How do you find your first job as a regular person? Now I know you're talking about like for people who have had a history of a bad history where they got negatively involved with the law, then you would just want to express that out of the gate so that they can later on be like, wait, you did that? Okay, yeah, no, you're not allowed to be over here. You're fired.
So speaking of, what you're just saying there, like you have an influencer network that you would bring in 20 people, 100 people. It doesn't matter the number because we can hopefully grow no matter what it is. But I'm assuming you're coming into this with not a zero network.
Not a zero network. Not a massive one.
Okay. I
know a decent amount of teenagers now thinking about going into actually teenage ministry with in terms of like
mission trips and
youth ministry.
Yeah.
And I actually have my own youth ministry called The Patio, right? Invite teenagers and adults over, and we just discuss some stuff about the Bible. Right. And now I'm not going to, I do want to say that out of the gate, I'm not going to go over there and be like, guys, I'm on the podcast and everything, advertise the patio as that, because that's not the patio. But if I hear somebody saying, yeah, like it's been hard to find a job, I could be like, okay,
Yeah.
well, discuss this
Okay.
about that exact thing
Yeah.
on this one podcast that I did with this.
Well,
guy.
one of the things we could do is, let's say if we started to get the people who come in, let's say the first show we get 10 people, again, we want to make the first show good, but we're going to learn some things and we're going to probably hit some bumps. So we'll get 10 people. What we'd like them to do is to subscribe to something, and hopefully it's subscribing to my YouTube channel or something like that. And then if it's going to be next Tuesday, I'm just making this up. It's going to be next Tuesday. We're going to talk about this topic. Then on the YouTube channel, I can put like a 1-minute video. I mean, I would do it right here. I would just record a 1-minute video, say, hey guys, join us next week because we're going to be talking about blah, 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 whatever it is. And then if you're obviously a subscriber, so you would get that out to your network and so on and so forth. And that's the way we can generate interest. I can also schedule the meeting next Tuesday. That's going to be at 7 p.m. And I would do the same thing that I did for you is I can send people the link and say, this is where we're going to be live. Or you can just come to probably the YouTube channel that you subscribe to, because once we go live, it'll show live, there as well. So, and I have a Facebook channel, or actually a couple Facebook, so we could make that happen as well. So,
but
all right.
I just want to yet again one last thing. But I'm the kind of person to make connections, right? And so if I'm more of the advertisement kind of guy, right? And so I'm somewhat of a car salesman, in my opinion. I go over and I say, hey, I see that you have this need, right? And so you can fulfill this need through this. And I make that connection. And then they're like, oh man, I really could use that thing that you're saying that I could use. And so there's this one thing, I think it was the question on how to get into a hardware, right? They said, sell me this pen right here. And the answer was not, okay, this is a really nice quality pen. This is so good. It's amazing. You're going to love it. Yeah. It's from China or something or no, the ink is from Asia, Central Asia. Not going to find it anywhere else. No. The answer to that question was, okay, so do you have a use for a pen? No. Right. Okay. I'll go somewhere else. Right. And so you're not going to advertise dog food to somebody who doesn't own a dog. Right. And so see the need and you give them what they need.
Yeah.
So I just want to make that clear. Like if I don't see somebody who needs this, then I'm not going to give it out to them. But if I hear something about them needing that, then I'm going to be, hey, absolutely, yes, you can go over and do this because this would be a good thing for you.
Well, the main premise why this started was because I made some career mistakes in my life as well, and everybody has. By the time you're my age, unless you've taken like a job at McDonald's for your whole career, where it's pretty safe, you're going to make mistakes, and I've been in some pretty some high pressure jobs, and it's hard to go through years of that without making a mistake, But I was an observation kind of guy of some people like, man, oh man, like, why is this so hard? Like, I just sent this guy this email. I didn't get a response back from him. And then when I did, he didn't answer the question that I asked. That's just a communication issue. So that's just a really simple example, but I have thousands of examples of that. And I just started boiling it down to, we didn't learn this in high school. We don't even talk the language that we talk as adults in high school. We don't even talk that language. So I started this originally because by the time you're 14 or 15 years old, from that age until 18, you should be learning this. Because, and this is the way I say it in my book, you're about to go out and make some very big life first decisions. First house, first spouse, first marriage, first kids, first career, first boss, first time doing taxes. And you have no experience doing that. The schools just don't teach that. So it went from that to the adults that are out there who are failing miserably. I mean, there are so many people that are my age that are coming to retirement that have no savings at all. and they're in for an unfortunate, rude awakening, or they probably already know how unfortunate they are. And my wife and I are extremely fortunate that we've been able to sock away money that we're talking about retirement right now at 62. We're not 62 yet, but we're almost there. And some people will just say, and I don't know if this conversation interests you at all, but this is the whole premise behind this is that, if I get to 62 and I'm relying on Social Security to pay for my happy retirement, I'm going to be woefully disappointed, because it's a couple $1,000s a month at the most, and it's based on how your salaries work throughout your years. I've been working 40 years. My wife and I both really hit a certain level of income that our Social Security is going to be pretty high, and most people will not have a Social Security of that amount, probably not even half that amount. So to try to think that it's going to, after you're done working and retired, that it's going to continue to pay for your health care, your house, the travel that you want to do after you retire, the nursing home that you might have to go into, it's so many people don't get even close to being as fortunate as we are. And I'm not saying that to say it's not to brag at all. It's just saying, what lessons did we miss way back here when we were in school that get us to that point and get more people to that point, and less people in jail or divorced or bankrupt. So,
but I can totally see that, and I agree. Yeah.
All right.
You don't usually think about, but yeah. I hate to keep on.
Yeah. No, great stuff, Noble. I really appreciate you and all the thought you've put into this and the conversation. What I'm going to try to think of now, I'd love to say, hey, let's do our first show next week, but I'm just not in the spot to do that right now with all the things that are going on, but it will be second on my mind. And I would love to maybe start this soon, let's say a month or so. I guess I have to ask you, what kind of are you available for like a half an hour show on a weeknight or something like that?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
My schedule is pretty flexible because family business. I was about to leave the family business, but then I got humbled by my older brother Zeal. He's like, hey, so you're thinking about leaving the family business, but you got completely flexible hours. Like, you could, any single day, you could just say, hey guys, I'm out of here. I got a college class, or hey, I'm out of here. I got something to go to. So I have family business. I can go, leave, come whenever I want to. And I got
what's
college
the family business?
And in person for some.
Yeah. What's the family business?
Property maintenance.
Property maintenance. Okay.
Yeah.
I meant to ask you, you're on your laptop, you're using your webcam on your laptop, right?
Yep.
Are you using your laptop speakers and microphone as well?
Yep.
Okay. I'm on my cell phone just for the speaker part, Uh-oh. Did you freeze? Are you there?
Did you freeze? Are you there?
Yeah, it's all
Okay.
frozen.
Okay.
On your side.
Okay. You can hear me now, okay, right?
You can hear me now?
A little bit of an echo, but it's
interesting. Okay. So I'm going to have to experiment with that a little bit. What I might do is I might just use some earbuds. When I call into the meeting, they're not too visible. I mean, they're visible, but they're not like this. I don't want to do something like that. So we'll experiment with that a little bit and figure it out. So I got to drop, man.
all right. Great talking to you.
Thank you for the time. I really appreciate it. And we'll talk to you soon.
Wait, hold up.
Okay.
53, 54, 55. We got to get it to 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Nah.
There we go. All right. Then I'm going to end the screen, and then I'm going to see what happens with the recording. And I mean, it's a 2.5 hour recording. It's going to be large. So what I'll probably do once the recording is done is I'll download it and delete it from StreamYard so it doesn't take up space, just to learn how that works. So, okay.
All right.
All right. Cool. Have a good day. Okay,
You
bye-bye.
too.